شر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. اللهم نجينا من النار. Alhamd, which means praise. Praise belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's the only one we are allowed to praise. We praise Him, we thank Him. And also we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us protection. From what? From the evil, from the shar that exists within the inner soul. Every human being has it. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect us from the consequences of our own bad deeds. Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam tells us that He, Allah, guides. Yani if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you hidayat, and nobody gonna take you astray. And if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala leaves you alone, you will not find anyone to bring you back to the right path, to the sirat al-mustaqim. I bear witness that there are no gods, no deities worthy of worship except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nobody deserves to be worshipped except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I bear witness that our beloved Prophet Muhammad is the messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, a man who struggled throughout his life. He did whatever he had to do to deliver the message of Islam to this ummah. He did his best of ability as a human being, and asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help him, alongside with the Sahaba, the companions, and his family, and those who followed their footsteps. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to reward him, to bless him, to honor him, alongside with his family and his companions, and those who learned this knowledge of Islam and gave it to us. We Muslims, alhamdulillah, nowadays, we didn't have to fight to stay Muslims. We didn't have to die to stay Muslims, except our brothers in Burma these days, in Myanmar. Our brothers in Central Africa. You see, when you have a war because of some oil, or you have a war because of politics or territory, it's just a war. But when you have a war because the government doesn't want Muslims in their land, that's a war of survival. The only crime the Rohingya people committed is being Muslim. That's the only crime they committed. And they're a very small minority. But 1778, they were invaded. They were a sovereign Muslim state. They were invaded by the Burmese government and made into a minority. And because they were Muslims, they told them, you don't belong here, period. These are people who are fighting for survival. So we stand in this Jum'ah, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to ease their situation. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the means to help them. But before and foremost, ask Allah to give us unity to go back to the Ummah. You know, I heard someone tell me I'm Moroccan first, then Muslim. Because I care about Moroccans more than Muslims. What do I care about Burmese people? I'm not Burmese. What do I care? One guy told me to my face, I'm Afghan first, and then whatever else. I said, subhanallah, I'm not Palestinians. What do I care about Palestine and Israel? I'm not Egyptian, I'm not Libyan. What do I care about these people? I've become a racist, I've become a nationalist. And a nationalist does not belong to Islam. And that's why I said, that's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to give us the understanding of an ummah. As the Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You know what he said about you Muslims? He said, the Muslim ummah, like a single body, كالجسد الواحد, like a body. If you have an infection in your foot, you might have a headache in your head. If you have something in your stomach, you cannot go to sleep with your eyes. And that's how the Muslims should feel about other Muslims. And what caused the Muslims today to suffer is because we divided one another. You see, I tell you about my country, Moroccans, you know, subhanallah. You look at Moroccans and Algerians, we have the same language, the same food, the same culture. Some people have half family Algerian, half family Moroccan, but the government shut down the border and they went to war in 1975. And the border is still shut until now. Those who we call kuffar in Europe, European countries, you travel from Spain all the way to Poland, you don't see a single border. Do you know how many languages they have in Europe? 150 languages. They went to World War. The Germans fought the Russians and the rest of Europe and the US. They killed 51 million people, died only 60 years ago. Yet they are united, the European Union. This country went to the Civil War, the Union against the Confederates. Yet they are the United States of America. And we go on and on. And, you know, Russia, after the fall of the Soviet Union, it united the Russian Federation. Everybody's uniting except the Muslims. And in my country, we have the native people and Arab people, Andalusi people. Are mixed people. And now we have racism within the one country. Within the one masjid, we have racism. You go to Moroccan masjid. Oh, we don't sit with those guys. These are Amazigh. These are things. I don't sit with them. I sit with my friends over there. We have racism in our own communities. You tell me Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to give us ittihad? He's going to give us unity? Because we discriminate against one another because of a skin color, because of your heritage, because the language you speak. And Nabina Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, what he said one time? One Sahaba, these two Sahaba, they were companions of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in Medina, the first state for the Muslims. And they were chatting, sitting down. Brothers, وَكُنْتُمْ أعداء, you were enemies. فَأَصْبَحْتُمْ بِنِعْمَتِهِ إِخْوَانًا, and by the favor, the ni'mah of Allah, you became brothers. The two Sahaba from Al-Aws and Al-Khazraj, two tribes, two different qawm, they were fighting each other for 40-something years, and because of Islam, they were united. Now they're hanging out. And one Yahudi guy came between them, and he told them, you remember when you were fighting over there? When? Did that fight and they won against you? He said, no, they didn't win against us. The other guy stood up. He said, no, we defeated you. No, we defeated you. And they started arguing. And one of them, he says, Ya al-Khazraj, calling his qawm. All people of al-Khazraj, come support me against this man. Wallahi, your phone can wait 15 minutes after the khutbah. Your phone can wait, inshallah. Right, Yunus? Your phone can wait, right? You don't have to check it. I'm blaming it on you. And I'm talking to you, but against somebody else. May Allah forgive all of us. He says, all my people come support me. Now the other one says, Ya al-Aws, come support me. They stood up, they drawn their swords, and they're about to fight again. You know what the Yahudi guy told his friend? He says, Bani Qila. He called them a name of their old great-grandmother. He says, Bani Qila are united because of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Let me show you. And he was about to show. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam heard them shout, heard them cry that they're going to fight. He came running. He told them, أَوَ بِدَعْوَ الْجَاهِلِيَّةِ وَأَنَا بَيْنَ ظَهْرَانِكُمْ. You are calling one another with the call of al-Jahiliyyah, of the times of pre-Islamic times, and I'm still alive amongst you. What are you going to do after I go? And they dropped their weapons and they understood the tafriqa, furqat, division amongst the Muslims. He says, he called it فَإِنَّهَا الْحَالِقَةِ. Al-haliqa, halq is to shave off, something you amputate it from the root. And that's what amputating this ummah. The reason why the Rohingya are being oppressed, the reason why any group of Muslims is being oppressed, the only reason is because there is nobody to stand up for them. That's it. There's nobody, because everybody is busy with their own fight, with their own issues. And all we pray to the same God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We read the same Quran. Show me any Muslim on earth who reads Quran in any other language. When you pray Fatiha in namaz, you pray in one language. You pray in Pashtun or in Dari, or you pray in French, you pray in English. We have American brothers here. Do you pray in English or you pray in Arabic? I'm not Arab myself, but I pray in Arabic. Why? Because it's the language that unites the Muslim. We have the same Quran, the same Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who told us that tribalism does not work, racism does not work, unity was what work. And listen to Umar ibn Khattab when he's speaking to the mama of Rasulullah, the khal, the uncle of Rasulullah. He's sending him to Persia. Sa'd bin Abi Waqqas. He told him, Ya Sa'd, لا يغرنك أن يقال خال رسول الله. Don't be deceived if they call you the uncle of Rasulullah. When people call you uncle of Rasulullah, don't be arrogant. Don't feel special. فَإِنَّ النَّسَبَ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ الطَّاعَةِ. The real kinship with Allah is obedience. The closer you want to be to Rasulullah, be obedient to his sunnah and to the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Or not. I know people who call themselves Sayyid and Sharif in my own country, in my own family. They say, I'm a descendant of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yet they go drink sharab and they go steal from people and they don't even do namaz. Yeah, I'm Sharif, I'm going to Jannah Bahaj, I'm going, yeah, I'm good. Doesn't make sense. If Sharif or Sayyid was to go to paradise without being accountable, so Rasulullah should not have been praying. so that his children would have quit fasting, so that his grandchildren, Al-Hassan al-Hussein and so on, could have just said, I'm Sayyid, I'm the grandchild of Rasulullah. Why would I pray? If it was with your family status or family lineage, then Islam would be a very racist religion. But Umar ibn Khattab tells you that kinship and nasab is in terms of ta'at of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The only reasons Muslims are suffering is because we are divided. I need a visa to go visit my Muslim brother. Anywhere in the world. I challenge any one of you to go to Hajj without a visa. I challenge anyone to go to Jordan without a visa. I was going to Jordan, told me, no, stop right there. Moroccan passport? No, you can't go. But Yahudi, they can go, no problem. American, Europe can go, no problem. I need visas to visit my brothers. But the Europeans, you don't see a single border patrol from Spain all the way to Poland. From England, Denmark, all the way to Greece. Why the Muslims are like that? Yeah, we can go talking and make dua for Burma. Make other people help them. You, Allah, help them. We're just going to go back to our daily lives and our foods and our children's and our toys. But you know how you want to help the Burma people beside dua? Is that you start uniting here. If we teach our children the spirit of unity, one day this ummah will be united. One day this ummah will reject all this takhalluf, all this, complexes and that of inferiority that we carry with us. And it comes from what? From education. Any of you go to any masjid, except Masjid Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, because they have a standing school for a long time. Go to any masjid, in La Mesa, in El Cajon, go up in Mira Mesa, North County, Masjid al-Tawheed Mubarak here, and see how many people bring their children here. Let me tell you something about educating children, because I'm an educator myself. If you take a message today from this ignorant man yelling at you, and please don't get offended because this is an emotional subject for me. This is very sad because I've seen Muslim kids revert back to kufr. I've seen children who told me in my face, I don't believe in Allah. I've seen it. Somebody told me one time, one kid, I went to just do like an assessment for a school I was running on Sundays. He looked at me and he told me, excuse me, are you Allah? A child does not know what Allah means. Mom is Muslim, dad is Muslim. I say, why? I'm just a human being. He said, because they told me Allah is a nice guy, and you're a nice guy, you must be Allah. I asked 14 years old kids, do you know who Abu Bakr as-Siddiq is? They say no. Do you know who Jay-Z is? Of course they know. They know this movie star, this singer, of course they know. Soccer players, football players, they know their history. But Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, nobody cares about it. Whose fault is it? It's the fault of the parents. The parents are too lazy to get in the car to bring their kids on Saturday morning for us here in this masjid to teach them the basics of Islam. Very simple. Care statistics. You can ask Hanif about this. 97% of Muslim children in America have no connection to any masjid. Meaning only 3% of the kids that you see in the masajid are the Muslims come to the masajid. 97% of them will never have any connection to any masjid. Guess what? They're 10 hours, 5 days a week in the American school, and they're bombarded with whatever. And then they go home, they're on their video games all day long. And then they watch TV for 3, 4, 5 hours. And then with their friends playing, they are in a non-Islamic environment all day long. And then when the little girl that you raised or the little boy comes home with a boyfriend or a girlfriend, you call me and tell me, Brother Yunus, my son has a boyfriend, what should I do? I should invite him for dinner, get to know the guy. What do you want me to do? Give you like a magic trick and well, where were you 20 years ago? You were busy collecting money. You were busy with politics. You were busy watching satellite TV and hating. What were you doing? Or you were busy cooking or shopping. Let me tell you something. If you take one message from this khutbah, there is 2 words I want to tell you about. And you know them. The word tarbiyah. You know what tarbiyah means? Education. Right? Not only education is raising children, educating and raising. And there is a word called khidmat, service. Now, if you feed your kids, inshallah, you all do your best. You go work hard to provide for your kids food, shelter, clothing, school supplies. That's called khidmat. That's service. You are serving your kids. If something, astaghfirullah, is not happening. If something happens to any one of us, Uncle Sam will provide that for your kids. His uncles can provide. If the father is no longer existing, listen, Ya Muslim. Listen to this khutbah, please. It's part of the salah. Please, Ya Muslim. May Allah give you al-Jannah for listening. So let's check this out. Anyone can give food. Anyone can give shelter. Anyone can give clothing. But not anyone can give al-Jannah. Because you are serving your kids. You are not educating them. You are not raising them to be Muslims. If you are doing everything to provide for the needs of your kids, you are just a servant, which is good. But where is the educator? Where is al-murabbi? Where is the educator who educates these kids and raises them to be Muslim? Because the child will show up in Yawm al-Qiyamah. He says, Ya Allah, this man gave me food, gave me shelter, gave me everything. But I'm going to Jahannam because he did not give me Islam. That's it. The only reason I'm going to Jahannam because my father and my mother did not teach me Islam. That's the only reason I'm going down. Then the blame will be on you. You work 40, 60 hours a week. May Allah help you. You drive in the traffic, you do the commute, but you cannot sit down your children 15 minutes after dinner at the dinner table and give them a small bayan and tell them, listen, we don't lie because Allah says this and the Prophet said this. We don't steal because of this. We are proud Muslims because, yeah, you can be a proud American and a proud Muslim because Allah says this and the Prophet says this. 15 minutes a day, just like an education, a little injection of Islam in the middle of the kufr they live in, from 6 in the morning when they go to school, when they wake up, until they go to sleep. Nothing Islamic in their lives, plus peer pressure. When you grow up back home, not only your father educated you, not only your mother, but also the streets. I mean, how many of you, I'm walking in the street, I see my teacher, I hide, out of haya, out of respect. If I did something wrong, my neighbor would say, hey, stop doing that or I'll tell your dad. Everybody trains you. Your teachers tell you, yeah, hey, stop, don't do that. Wallahi, one time, my teacher caught me winking at one of I was school back there. What's up? Hey, what's up? You wink. My teacher told me, Yunus, why are you doing that? What does this mean? Why don't you just say salam like this? Winking is not from the Muslims. It's from the Hamazat al-Shayatin. I was like, oh wow. I learned something. Nowadays, teachers give your kids condoms in the school system and teach them how you use it. And you are asleep because you don't want to talk about this subject. This is the biggest crime we're doing to our kids in America. We think that they're going to be Muslims just because they carry your DNA. It's not how it works. Let me tell you something. You do your best in front of Allah. You say, Ya Allah, I gave them bayan at the house. I took them to the masjid. They recited the Quran. I did my best because the perfection comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What is my daleel? The daleel is 2 boys, 2 sons of Nuh alayhi salam. One son jumped in the ship with Nuh alayhi salam. One son said no. قال سآوي إلى جبل. You know the surah. I want to climb a mountain. It will save me from the floods. He said nothing will save you today. This is the decree of Allah. The son of a Nabi became kafir. Is it the responsibility of the Nabi? No, he did his job. I did what I can. And the rest is up to Allah. The problem is, Ya Muslim, is when you stand up in front of Allah and you tell you, what did you do? I fed them. Well, it was up to Allah to feed them. Oh, I gave them clothing. I gave them that. Great. How about Islam? How about Islam? You know why I'm saying this? I'm riding my bike here by the stoplight by Masjid Abu Bakr Siddiq. I'm stopping at the light. A car pull up next to me. And he looks at me and tells me, nice bike. And I say, thank you. He tells me, you must be getting a lot of ladies on that bike. I told him, I'm a Muslim. I don't do that. You know what he told me? Oh, great. My father used to be a Muslim. How about you? And he drove off. Yani his dad, Islam, came all, and he was Arab by the way, all through the generation after generation, teaching Islam all the way to this man. And there's no more Islam. Why? Dunya. Go to El Centro, the cemetery over there. A gravestone, you know the gravestone. The dead person, his name is Jonathan Muhammad. And there is a cross next to it. The grandfather came as an immigrant Muslim. His grandchild died as a Christian. Why? Man, just too busy with the dunya. Who cares to teach these kids? And I come to Masjid al-Tawheed on Saturday and I tell Brother Abdul Khalid, where are the kids? Where is everybody? I know there is a lot of Muslim children in this community. Where are they? Well, the responsibility lies on the fathers. Hadith al-Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said the human being is born upon the fitrah. Fitrah is the innateness that Allah created in all of us the moment we were born. And when we explain it, I'll explain it. Who teaches a baby to look for breast milk when he was just born? Who teaches him that? Who teaches a baby how to cry when they're hungry when they're 2 days old? Who teaches a baby how to swallow food? That's fitrah. Allah programs us to be born like that so we can grow up in that family. At the same time, He programs us to seek the Creator. You look in any tribe in the middle of the jungle, they believe in a Creator. Because if you, inshallah, bring your children to attend the lectures we do in that screen called the Scientific Miracles of the Quran, telling our Muslim kids that evolution is not part of Islamic tradition, and we show it scientifically. Later, when one girl told me, I don't know what books you read, I think there is a God. She's a Muslim girl. I met her in the East Coast, and yes, she was Afghan too. You know what she told me? I don't know what books, we all evolved from monkeys. My dad is Muslim, mom is Muslim, and the child tells me I come from a monkey. I say, no, I came from my mom and dad. I don't know about you. So let us stop this crime we're doing against Muslim children. Because if your kid is a good Muslim, he's been taught in masajid, he would, wallahi, one day I was standing here in Ramadan 3 years ago. This mimbar, I was sitting here doing a small talk before iftar, and one kid came through that door with his shoes. He was 13, 14 years old. He was walking with his shoes all the way here. Shoes, Muslim kid. Mom is Muslim, dad is Muslim. One of the kids here told me, bro, take off your shoes. He said, why? Never been to a masjid before. Muslim boy, never been to a masjid. You know, because dad and mom don't care to bring them to the masjid. They were born Muslim, they're going to stay Muslim, they're going to die Muslims. Well, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, وَلَا تَمُوتُنَّ إِلَّا وَأَنْتُمْ. Don't die except on the slave of Islam. Don't let this lie on you. Don't be only a servant to your kids. Be an educator for your kids by giving them small talks, ingraining them with your values. You know what the advantage we have in the United States with our kids? Because I see when my nephews go back home, you know what they tell me? They told me, Kakajar, you know, it's corrupt here. We see people cheating, we see people lying. It doesn't exist in the United States. I say yes. Here we have Islam, we have Muslims with no Islam. And over there we have Islam with no Muslims. We have an advantage in America that there is no corruption. You can raise your kids in a clean mental state. If you can free them from vices and desires, they will grow up as uncorrupt, good people. Because here, the Americans, the non-Muslims, some of us, we grow our beard and we say, kuffar this, kuffar that. You live in that country. Many of us take from their taxes. You call them kuffar just like that. These people, Allah, they're good people in this country. They don't harm you. They don't, you're Muslim, yeah. Wallahi, one time I was with my coworker. He saw me, he said, come on, eat. I said, no, I'm fasting. He said, I'm sorry. Wallahi, he was running. I'm not going to eat in front of you. Out of respect. I'm not going to, good people everywhere. But if your child, inshallah, is a good Muslim, when his cousin, his brother, his sister want to do something, and they see the good role model, wallahi, your kid will be a role model. They will follow him, and he will be a leader in his community, in his house, in his family. But don't blame children for not coming to the masjid. Don't blame them for getting into vices and desires and haram things. You know why? Because they're kids. That's what society teaches. This society teaches people to follow their desires. It's just what it is. Instead of blaming these innocent kids, help them be great people. Help them be better than me, better than you. And that's what I tell children. I tell them the only people who want you to be better than them are your parents. So please, organize your time. How many hours I work, how many hours I sleep, how many times I eat, how many times I travel. and reserve only 15 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day with your kids and have them do a little homework. Okay, you recite Quran for us today. You do this, you do that. Sheikh Adnan, you know him, the brother who does a lot of funerals. He told me, brother whose mom is Muslim, dad is Muslim. The father died, and Sheikh Adnan told the daughter, come here. She was like in her late 19s, 19, 20. He says, read Fatiha for your dad. She told him, I don't know. What is that? Just Fatiha, Hamd Sharif, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. I don't know, he never told me that. Who is to blame? Who is to blame when the father dies and none of his children can recite Alhamdulillah Sharif, Surah Al-Fatiha? There's a lot to say about this. I've encountered so many things, but I don't have time to tell you all of them because, wallahi, sometimes people tell me, why are you angry when you talk about this? I said, you know what makes me angry? When I say Muslim kids become kuffar. That's what makes me angry. And if it does not make you angry, I don't know what will. أقول ما تسمعون استغفر الله لي ولكم استغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. اللهم تب علينا. الحمد لله رب العالمين وبه نستعين على امور الدنيا والدين ونصلي ونسلم على النبي الامين وعلى اله وصحبه اجمعين اما بعد. Inshallah, we will close in 1 minute by announcing the following. Every Saturday, some of you know, some of you don't know, every Saturday we have school here. We teach Dari, we teach Pashtun, we teach Quran recitation, we teach how to read, and we teach basic religious Islamic studies for the kids, different levels. And after the class, we have a presentation here, like a visual aid, fun type presentation for the kids in different Islamic topics. And the theme of our presentations is very simple. Number one, to have strong aqidah, strong Islamic faith, meaning nobody's going to change them. And number two, to make them proud being Muslims in America. That's what we do in this masjid. Sometimes we're not perfect. These brothers and sisters are not being paid almost nothing. So if you have any criticism, if you have anything, please bring it and tell us. My kid complained about this, let's fix it. Don't go, I heard it. Allah, don't go there, man. It's big, they don't know. Well, of course, come and help. If you have any criticism, it's your amanat, it's your trust that you bring it here and tell us, brothers, this is wrong. Let's fix it together. Nobody knows everything except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if me, I'm not talking about anyone, if I am arrogant to not accept criticism, then I don't deserve to be Muslim. I don't deserve to stand and speak to you or teach your children. So please help us, inshallah, on Saturdays. Bring your kids, and inshallah ta'ala, the fruits of you teaching your kids Islam, you will find them later in your life and after Yawm al-Qiyamah, as the Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam tells us, إِذَا مَاتَ ابْنُ آدَمَ انْقَطَعَ عَمَلُهُ إِلَّا مِنْ ثَلَاثٍ. When the human being dies, his a'mal are cut off. He can no longer do anything except for 3 things. Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam wants you to leave behind 3 things. You're going to leave your house, and somebody else is going to be the owner of your house. You're going to leave a car, someone else will drive the car. Someone else will, you put your own watch on your wrist, someone else will remove it when you die. You put your own clothes, someone else will remove them from your body. Everything of the dunya will go and will not benefit you except for 3 things. Sadaqatun jariyah, a continuous charity. You build an establishment that even after you pass away, it keeps giving. That sadaqah will increase for you until Yawm al-Qiyamah. Second, ilmun yuntafa'u bih, a knowledge that you left behind. You translated a book, you found a cure for cancer, you did something amazing both in science or the deen to help the ummah, to help humanity even after you pass away. That will accumulate for you until Yawm al-Qiyamah. And then number 3, وَوَلَدٌ صَالِحٌ يَدْعُو لَهُ, and a righteous son or daughter, whether it is boy or girl, a child that will make dua for you when you die. Not a child who will not be able to read Surah Al-Fatiha when you are in your kafan. A child who will make dua. Since my father passed away in 2008, there is not a single namaz that passes and I make dua for my dad. Every time I make sujood, it's very easy. Ya Allah, give rahmat to my father. My father sacrificed all his life to help me. So I'm trying to be that boy who is righteous to make dua for his father, and I'm just fulfilling the prophecy of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I don't know what my father did. My father was not a scholar of Islam or anything. He was just a common Muslim with basic Islamic knowledge. Something he did. And here I am. making dua for him every time I make sujood. That's a gift from Allah alone. And I ask you, please, if you are in this community or any other community, all the masajid in San Diego offer some type of classes. Yes, they're not perfect, but it's better than the reality shows. It's better than entertainment, than those channels. It's better than Facebook. It's better than video games when you can play Grand Theft Auto, show you how to steal a car, how to be a pimp. You see that? Try to see what your kids are playing. Wallahi, one Call of Duty game, they have the Quran on the ground and the soldiers step on it. That's what your kids are playing for 10, 12 hours sometimes a day. Yet, I'm asking you only for 15 minutes a day for the Quran. اللهم احفظ أولاد المسلمين اللهم احفظ أولاد المسلمين اللهم احفظ عقيدتهم ودينهم يا أرحم الراحمين اللهم رب أولاد المسلمين اللهم ارحم والدينا ووالدي والدينا يا رب العالمين اللهم ارحم مشايخنا ومعلمينا يا أرحم الراحمين اللهم اغفر لنا ذنوبنا يا رب العالمين اللهم كل المسلمين في كل مكان اللهم كل المسلمين في كل مكان في بورما وفي أفغانستان في أفريقيا وفي ليبيا وفي مصر وفي تونس وفي جميع بلاد المسلمين يا أرحم الراحمين اللهم وحد صفوف المسلمين اللهم وحد كلمة المسلمين اللهم رد أمة محمد إلى دينك مردا جميلا اللهم ردنا إلى دينك مردا جميلا يا أرحم الراحمين يا رب العالمين عباد الله إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد وارض اللهم عن سادتنا أبي بكر الصديق وعمر الفاروق وعثمان بن نورين وأمير المؤمنين علي بن أبي طالب قوموا إلى صلاتكم يرحمكم الله